Hi Northwing. I thought I'd read the story outside today. A little bit of a change of scenery. Just like the very first story I read to you. Do you remember it was quite windy? Today it's lovely and sunny, so it's making my eyes squint a little bit, but it's really beautiful. So it's nice to be outside, isn't it? So this is the story that we're going to read this week. It's called How Many Legs? And it's by Wes Gray. Now, we're going to be thinking a lot about animals and living creatures this week, and very much about how many legs they've got. Okay? Let's start the story. I love the pictures, by the way. So having a look at the first double page, what clues can you see that might tell us about what the story's going to be about? Oh, you can see a little boy. Yeah. And have you noticed the bunting and the balloons? What clue might that give us? Looks a bit like there might be some sort of party going on. Let's find out. How many legs would there be if in this room there was only me? So how many legs would there be if there was only you? Yeah, there'd only be 2 legs, wouldn't there? How many legs would there be if a polar bear came to tea? So how many legs does a polar bear have? 4. How many legs does the little boy have? 2. Can we do the maths? Can we work out how many legs altogether? Let's use this look. So if we have 4 legs on the polar bear, can you see that? And if we add that to the 2 legs of the little boy, then how many legs would we have altogether? 4 add 2 is, some of you know it straight away, you can use your fingers, it's 6. Okay, so we won't do this for every page, but that's the sort of idea that we're going to be thinking about this week, adding up the legs. So look, we thought there were 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 legs. Looks like a nice party, doesn't it? How many legs would it make if a duck arrived with some lemon cake? That looks like the most delicious lemon cake, doesn't it? How many legs does the duck have? 2. How many legs would be on view if a hippo was invited too? How many legs does a hippo have? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 legs. How many legs would you see if a dog walked in with a chimpanzee? So the dog has, how many legs does a dog have? 4. How many legs would we say the chimpanzee had? Do they normally walk on 2 legs? It's a tricky one, that, isn't it? It's either 4 add 2, or if you say the chimpanzee's got 4 legs, it would be 4 add 4, wouldn't it? That's one to have a chat about. How many legs would be found if a seagull joined us on the ground? Look, can you see the seagull coming? Now that's definitely easy, isn't it? How many legs does a seagull have? A seagull has 2 legs, yeah. What would all the legs come to if a frog hopped in on a kangaroo? So the frog, we'd maybe say it had 4 legs, and the kangaroo only really uses 2, doesn't it, to get around? So 2 legs. So 4 add 2 again, can you remember? 4 add 2 was 6, yeah? So if they came in, it'd be another 6, wouldn't it? How high would the leg count go if a squid rode in on a buffalo? So how many legs does a buffalo have? 1, 2, 3, 4. He is causing chaos, isn't he? And how many legs does the squid have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Looks like that squid's got 10 legs, doesn't it? You see? So 10 add 4. That's a tricky one, isn't it? Maybe you could do some dots on your paper to work that out. Maybe you could pause the video. How many legs would there be if a flea flew in on a bumblebee? How many legs does that bumblebee have? Can you count them? The bumblebee have 6. Yeah, and how many legs have they put on the flea? Looks like the flea's got 6 legs too, so that would be 6 add 6, wouldn't it? 6 add another 6 equals 12, so that would be 12 legs. Would the leg count go right up if an octopus and a pig turned up? That's a good one, isn't it? How many legs on an octopus? 8. And how many legs on a pig? 4. So 8 add 4. 8 add 4. Maybe pause it now, draw some dots. 8 dots, 4 dots. How many dots all together? 8 add 4 is 12. Why would the number stay the same if a slug, a snail and a maggot came? So they're saying that the number of legs wouldn't change when these guys come in. Why? Oh, because they don't have any legs, of course. How would the number multiply if a centipede came wiggling by? How many legs do you think a centipede has? Too many to count on there. Do you know how many legs a centipede has? It's supposed to have about 100. That would take the number of legs in the party up by a lot, wouldn't it? How many legs would you find if a cow walked in with a goat behind? How many legs does the cow have? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many legs does the goat have? 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 and 4 is 8. Yeah, so 8 more legs. Leg-wise, what would be the score if we were joined by a, can you see what that is that's come? A dinosaur. How many legs does that dinosaur have, guys? Can you see? It's huge, isn't it? It's got 4 huge legs. And there is all the animals that came. Can you see? All the animals that came, and the little boy's trying to wonder and work out how many legs altogether at his party. And he says, if you lose count, don't feel bad. A sum this big could send you mad. No need to tie your brain in knots. Let's just say the answers. What do you think the answer is altogether? Lots. And it is, there's loads of legs, isn't there? Plus 4 more if you include the table. That's interesting. Of course, a table has legs too. That's very clever, isn't it? So, do you think that they actually worked out how many legs were there all together? Look, they did. The correct answer is, and that number has 3 digits, and it's 174. So altogether at the party there were 174 legs. I hope you enjoyed that story. I thought it was really fun thinking about all the different legs that were coming in and trying to add them up. So we'll have lots of fun with that this week. One of the little sheets in your pack looks a little bit like this. And there's pairs of animals for you to have a go at counting the legs and adding them up. So this first one, there's an ostrich and a kangaroo. So we've got 2 add 2 equals 2 add 2 equals 4. Okay, so you could have a little go at that. Right, I hope you enjoyed that. Have a lovely week, guys, and I'll see you for the activity video on Tuesday. Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing all your work. See you later. Bye.